MD Prepper here, discussing the positive attributes and some of the negative ones of the AK74 platform and its round, the 5.45 by 39. Now, as all my gun buddies out there know, there's an eternal debate between AK versus AR-15, 5.56 versus 7.62 by 39. Rarely do they talk about the AK-74 and its round. I would say this is the, in my opinion, ultimate combination of the two. It gives you the better ballistics almost of the AR platform with the reliability of an AK. Wonderful rifles, been shooting for a long time. Added one to the arsenal about 2 years ago and never looked back. This is by far my go-to rifle for plinking and range fun and general practice, I'd have to say. Overall, it looks like your standard AK, except you don't have quite the banana mag, or banana clip, as the savages like to call it. You don't have the curvature due to the round. Most of the magazines are 30 rounders. You can still get these from Europe, Eastern Europe, and of course US made Tapco and some other places make them. They all seem to work well. Of course, you can get these old Bakelite style ones too, which run you a pretty penny. The new ones work just as well. Overall, weighs about the same as an AK. Weighs in about 7.5 pounds unloaded, and a magazine will run you about a half a pound or so each. So about 8-pound rifle overall. So that's right up there and in there with your ARs and AKs. Nothing different there. Overall, has the same excellent reliability of the standard AK platform. Never had this one fail on me with any type of ammo, and all I shoot in it's steel because all that's available is steel ammo. Optics are nice. Most of the accessories for your standard AK will go on this rifle for the most part, though there are a few differences, but for stocks and optic mounts and things like that, trigger groups, they're all interchangeable. So you still have a lot of options and accessories, not as much as an AR or a standard AK, but plenty to keep you happy. You can do what you need to with this. The rifle itself shoulders real well. It's got that shorter stock if you've got a smaller person, female shooter. And what I would say is absolutely stellar about this rifle, beyond just reliability and low maintenance, is its recoil. This thing is like shooting a BB gun for adults. I don't care who you are, you can handle the recoil of this. You say, well, 5.56 isn't that bad. Yeah, well, this is even less. If you've got somebody who's recoil sensitive at all, this is a rifle to give them. After I train folks on 22 rifles and other such lightweight weapons, my go-to to teach them to shoot a semi-auto rifle is this one, because they think it's cool to shoot an AK, and once they pull the trigger a few times and realize that the recoil is not scary at all, they're good to go. The effectiveness on this rifle here, the AK-74, is around 500 meters or 550 yards compared to the AR-15, which is around maybe 600 or 700 meters depending on who you talk to, barrel length and all. This is much better though than the AK-47 round, the 7.62 by 39, which is only about 350 meters or 380 yards. So you get about 150 extra meters out of this. So much more effective at range, more versatile overall. The recoil, let me give you the stats on that actually, I looked that up. The free recoil energy on the AK-74 is 2.5 foot-pounds, which is virtually nothing, especially when you compare it to the 5.56, which comes in at 4.75. So 2.5 versus 4.75, that's almost half the felt recoil. The AK-47 in 7.62 by 39 comes in at around 5.5 foot-pounds. So tremendously lighter recoil with this, with any of your loads. Anybody can shoot this. This is why I probably recommend it primarily for plinking and all that. Nothing's more comfortable to shoot all day than this, and you're not going to find anything cheaper than this, ammo-wise. Now, I've talked about the rifle, but let's move on to the ammunition. The round, the 5.45 by 39 right here, which you'll see is fairly similar in appearances to the 5.56. Let me go ahead and show you the two side by side. If you can see that right there. Very similar overall. Incredibly similar in bullet weights as well. Most of your 5.56 rounds are in the 55 to 60 some odd grain. You're going to find the same thing in the 5.45s. Most of the ammo is 60-ish grain or so, 55 grain on the low end, be it hollow points or full metal jackets, whatever. So bullet weight doesn't change a whole lot there. Magazine capacity, obviously 30 rounders, almost exactly the same. Ammo is very affordable, and this is why I really like this rifle. I've been through 2 ammo shortages in recent years, and I've seen 5.56 ammo disappear or skyrocket in price. And I've seen the same happen with your steel case 7.62 by 39. What I was amazed by is that the 5.45 by 39 was still available online and prices never rose. Still run you about $5 a box or less for your standard ammo. You may make the argument, well, you can't just walk into Walmart and buy this stuff. I'd say, well, that's probably a good factor. I can go into Academy Sports and pick up a few boxes of their brand, Monarch brand, steel cased ammo. Works fine. I don't stock a lot of it, but online is where you're going to buy this stuff in bulk and cheap. SG Ammo, other places have this regularly for less than $5 for a 20-round box. Now, one thing that confuses some folks when they go look at the price of this ammo and they say it's much more expensive. A lot of the boxes of ammunition are 30 rounders. This Golden Tiger here just happens to be a 20 rounder, as you see there, but the Wolf Performance ammo and all the others are 30 cartridges per box. So don't let the per box price fool you. I know at Academy Sports it was $10 a box. Well, man, that's expensive. Oh wait, I'm getting 10 more rounds. Never mind. So this actually makes going to the range a lot easier. I could buy one box per magazine that I've got with me, and it's easier math in my head how many rounds I want to shoot or to fill up my mags to fire. Not that it's hard with these, but it's just smarter to have a box of 30 rounders. Here in the US we're used to 20s. 30s make more sense with the AK and AR platforms out there, in my opinion, for whatever that's worth. So again, ammo online, very easy to find. You're going to buy this stuff in 500 rounds or 1,080 round spam cans for cheap, usually less than $5 a box. Moving along, let's talk about the round itself and velocities and all of that. This isn't quite the performer of the 5.56 round. Slightly below overall, so slightly less range, slightly less power overall. Your 7N6, which is your military surplus ammo, comes in at 53 grains, and muzzle velocity is 2,900 feet per second. That's 979 foot-pounds, so your average 5.56 rounds around 3,000 to 3,100 feet per second or so for a 60-something grain round, 62, something like that. The Wolf Performance here, 55 grain, hollow points come in at 2,890 feet per second or 1,021 foot-pounds. You also have some very nice options with the US-made Hornady ammunition, which is the VMAX ammo, which is 60 grain, 2,810 feet per second on muzzle velocity, so almost the same as the rest, and 1,053 foot-pounds of energy, which is again about the same, but you get the nice VMAX bullet out of it if you're hunting varmints and such. Very affordable for a quality ammunition. Comes in 50-round boxes here. That's all I've ever seen it in, or by the case. 50-round box is around $20. If you do that per 20-round box that we're used to with the math in our normal heads here in the US, that's about $8 a box. So the Primo stuff runs about what your average 5.56 ammo does. So very nice overall. Need to buy some more of this, actually. That reminds me, I'm going through a good bit recently. So roughly $5 a box, widely available online. Most people don't shoot it, and most people don't think about it. What more could you ask for in a prepper round? One thing that might be a hit against this rifle, which I really don't think it is you can only get steel cased ammo. There are no reloading options for this. There's no brass. There's no dies that anyone makes that I'm aware of that I can find. You say, well, I want to be able to reload my ammo. Reloading sounds great, and I could talk about this in another video, but what would I rather have? Reloading equipment and extra brass and extra powder, or actual rounds on hand, actual cartridges ready to fire? What's better in emergency? Actual rounds. I don't care how cheap reloading is. I would rather have an extra case of this stuff laying around ready to go than the components for 3 times that much ammunition. Personal opinion, you may differ, but the reloading issue doesn't bother me at all, especially when it comes to an AK platform. AK platforms tend to chew up brass in general, so what would you really want to reload for it anyway? How many cases could you actually use practically? So, love the AK74 platform. I could talk about it all day, and I've talked about it long enough, but it's worth looking at. Again, it's not quite the 5.56 in performance, but darn it, it's close enough. And again, that recoil, like shooting a BB gun, there's virtually none. I really should put a slide fire on this thing to play around with, just see what it can do. But a joy to shoot, a great training rifle, very inexpensive to shoot. Prices for the rifles run about the same as your standard low-end to mid-range AKs and on up. If you want to spend a fortune, you can go buy an arsenal. Bulgarian parts kit rifles are all over the place. So $550 to $1,000, I'd say, in general for a rifle. Accessorize it how you want to. I went a little more classic style here, obviously, except for the grip. Great caliber. You just don't hear enough about it. Just figured I'd share my thoughts. If I only had to own one AK when I own the 7.62x39, probably. But if I wanted to own two, definitely a 74. A lot more versatile overall. Great for home defense and personal defense. Good varmint round. And again, very good to train folks on. Very cheap to shoot. And ammo has always been available and at a reasonable price. So, what more could you want in a rifle? Hope you found this useful. Look forward to your comments. Indy Prepper out.